It's so hard when you have a chicken that you love that's being a bully. And a lot of people will tell you, oh, you need to get rid of that chicken. That's a chicken from hell. They can't be reformed. But I want to talk to you about solutions. When I was a little girl, I wanted to save the world. When that didn't happen, I decided to create my own world where things changed for the better every single day. Welcome to Chickenlandia. Hey guys, welcome to Chickenlandia. I am a backyard chicken educator here in the Pacific Northwest, and you can call me the president of Chickenlandia. It was about 2 years ago when I was walking in downtown Bellingham and I saw this chicken. I just had to bring her home. Now, in Chickenlandia, most of the chickens are rescues, and I really try to focus on just giving a home to chickens that would normally not have one. But I could not pass this up. She was so adorable. So I brought home her and her little friend, and my kids named her Pac-Man, and they named her little friend Pikachu. The integration process with Pac-Man and Pikachu went really well. Pac-Man fit in great with the flock. I didn't have any trouble with her until I brought home 3 of my little Sarama rescues, Kiki, Double Chicken, and Beast. Pac-Man just could not deal with these 3 new little chickens in her flock, and she started just acting awful. As you can see, I still have Pac-Man. We love her. She's a hilarious chicken. If you've been watching us for a while, then you know that there's this running joke that she's from outer space because she totally looks out of this world. And she is reformed now. Everybody gets along okay, but it was a process, and I'm going to explain to you what I did. But first, I want to talk to you about some other things that might have to do with your bullying problem that might not be so obvious to you. So let's start with that. Are you feeding your chickens enough? If they're hungry, then they're going to be more aggressive towards each other. We don't want that to happen. If you have a problem where some chickens are not able to get to the food, you need to have more than one location where there is food and water so that everybody can get to it. Another thing I want you to do is make sure that your chickens aren't getting too many treats and not enough of their feed. Now, I really believe, and if you've been following me for a long time, you know how I feel. There are many different ways to feed chickens. Some people are really adamant that chickens should only be getting chicken feed. Some people will do a little, chicken feed with a little bit of scraps and treats. And then other people, what they can feed their chickens or what they decided to feed their chickens is just all scraps. And I really believe that these are all legitimate ways to feed your chickens. But if you are having a problem like bullying, maybe you can make some temporary changes and see if it has any effect on the problem so that you can just rule that out. When a chicken is being a bully, a lot of times they will eat feathers, they will peck, and sometimes they will even draw blood. It is possible that your chickens need a little bit extra protein, so you could try, but if you supplement a little bit, you might see an alleviation of the bullying issue. Do your chickens have enough room? Each standard size chicken needs about 4 square feet of space inside the coop. You can get away with a little bit less if you have covered space where they can get out of the elements outside the coop. If you keep your chickens in an enclosed run, like I keep mine, then you want to make sure that there is 10 square feet of space per standard size chicken for them to play around in and peck and scratch in. You just want to make sure that they don't get bored, because when chickens get bored, that's when they start getting into trouble. My chickens have lots of areas to peck and scratch. They have salad bars where they can eat some greens. They have lots of hiding spaces, and they have chicken that's getting bullied. You want to make sure that chicken doesn't have any health problems going on. Make sure that it doesn't have any injuries that you haven't noticed, that it's not sick in some way, and also check for mites and lice, because these issues can actually cause other chickens who see that chicken as being too vulnerable for the flock to attack it. I know what my shirt says. It says, introverted but willing to discuss chickens. All right, so let's say that you tried all these things, but you're still dealing with this issue. What I did with Pac-Man is I actually separated her from the flock, but I kept her inside her coop. I got a nice big comfy dog crate. I put some shavings in it. I put feed and water in it. And I put her inside this crate in the coop for 2 days. Now, Pac-Man did not. When you have chickens of different sizes in your flock, you can end up with injured chickens, and I don't want that to happen. I know that Pac-Man didn't like it, but I think it was worth it just to get past this issue and restore peace in Chickenlandia. So it did work. It took Pac-Man down a couple of notches because she wasn't able to join the flock. She wasn't able to roost up high, which is one way that they assert their place in the pecking order. By the time she came out of it, she was like, okay, I'm gonna be a better chicken. And she's still high on the pecking order, but she's a lot calmer now, and she has allowed the little chickens to live their life in peace. If you don't have a dog crate, you can use a rabbit cage. You can just use some wiring to separate them from their flock, but allow them to still see their flock. If you try this and it's still not working, then you might want to separate your chicken from the flock completely, put them in a separate space where they can't see their chicken friends, and keep them in that space with food and water, and make sure it's comfortable for them for about 2 weeks. And then integrate them back into the flock. It should disrupt the pecking order enough that it takes to be from outer space, like Pac-Man. Oh, there is one last thing I did with Pac-Man that I believed really helped her. I gave her a flower remedy. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I use good for like jealousy, and it sounds silly, but I do believe it really helped. And if you're into more of a natural way of raising your chickens, you might want to check this playlist out. It's all about the natural ways you can raise your chickens. As always, it's 100% friendly backyard chicken education and entertainment. You will love it.